go get them again.
Welcome back to another unboxing first impression video on my channel. Today we are delving into the brand of Hugo Boss and their Boss Bottled series, which is saving the company in the men's aisle. And this one called Boss Bottled Parfum Edition. This was a Facebook snag of a few partials of older Boss Bottled flanker scents. This is one of the two that I got in that transaction, which was an excellent price point first and foremost, but it was a flawless purchase for me to get my nose on a few other Boss Bottled scents. You know, Boss Bottled is a fragrance that I absolutely love. If you don't know my history with it, it was my signature scent back in high school. It was the one that I felt like I finally graduated in the perfume world, right? I started with stuff like Swiss Army, CKB, Tommy by Tommy Hilfiger, and then there was this line across the sand that was like, okay, those were okay, and they still have like that sentimental value to me, all of those fragrances. But Boss Bottled was on another different level. I went Le Male and Boss Bottled, but Boss Bottled first. And it was on another level. And that's where I kind of started my journey, was really about Boss Bottled. And that fragrance I've loved ever since the 90s. And I'm on record on my YouTube channel. It was one of the first fragrances I reviewed in 2009 on my YouTube channel, saying Boss Bottled was the only good thing that came out of Hugo Boss. They were, back in 2009, they were focused on a lot of different lines. Now they're kind of really focusing on a few lines. Like they've chopped things up a little bit, because they used to have like, let's try this new line, let's try this new line. And flankers weren't really a big thing. But eventually they just started going, okay, let's just focus on like 2 or 3 different lines, like the scent in this one. So that's where my thoughts on Hugo Boss was. This is the only good thing that came out of Hugo Boss. And I own a lot of those goofy bottles from Hugo Boss where they were just like scents, right? I have my collection here, which is actually much lighter, and that's why I kind of bought a couple. I was just like, I thought I owned like a whole bunch of Boss bottles. Apparently not. And I remember when I first started in 2009, I had 3 bottles of Hugo Boss, if you go check out that old video. Now I'm down to my last bottle, which is a 50 ml, which is down to here. I have to re-up. Like, talking about re-upping on some of my favorites of all time, I need to re-up and get myself a bigger bottle of this. And no, this is not Boss Bottled. This is Boss Bottled Intense. I believe it's the EDT version. This is the EDP version. These two are like gold to some people out there. This is gold, Boss Bottled Oud, which is absolutely amazing. And then of course back here we got the Night here that some people love. I didn't like that. That was probably the poorest one out of the bunch that I've smelt. But let's get back to Parfum Edition here and see what I got. And I'm missing a lot of Hugo Boss, Boss Bottled, so I should maybe like blind buy a whole bunch and kind of up my collection a little bit. But let's see what this one has in store for me. And it's not an unboxing because it was in the purgatory and it was a partial bottle. Like I always do, boxes are gone and you're left with a partial bottle here. So if you're new here, welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Mark. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. You're gonna see, if you're a Hugo Boss fan, I will review as many as I can from the brand. Yeah, I review basically anything out there. Smash that like button, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Now let's take a look at the note breakdown. And up top we have Olibanum and Mandarin. So incense and Mandarin. Great start. In the mid, we have Fig Tree and Orris. So, holy crap, Batman. Pardon my French, but that note breakdown is sexy as hell right now. Incense, Mandarin, Fig Tree. Like, I'm a big fig guy. It doesn't matter if it's the fig leaf or the actual fruit, and then Orris, Iris, right? Where are we going with this one? In the base, we got cedar and leather. Okay. So it's missing the 3-headed monster of the original Boss number 6. That's how I remember it, Boss Bottled, where it was cinnamon, apple, and vanilla. That's your 3-headed monster. All not here. Okay. And, dark bottle, I'm getting it. Okay, leather, yeah. And incense, okay. Like, I feel like the note breakdown sold me. That's why I blind bought this thing, basically. At a really reduced rate, but now this was released back in 2022, so it was before like the hype train Boss bottles, right? It was like right before that. Nose, Susie Laheli, and my girl, Anik Menardo. She's a star. Pen that one. But Menardo is just one of my favorite female noses, but also in my, if I had a top 10 noses of all time, Menardo's definitely in the discussion, and even discussion in top 5. Menardo's great. I love Menardo's work. So Anik comes back. Pricing on this one is still in stores. I think they rejigged the bottle to kind of look like their new Hugo Boss line. So it got rejigged. So my bottle may not look like yours. This is obviously vintage. We're going to say that lightly. But you're looking at around $135 USD for 100 mil of this retail. And at discounters, you're looking around $80 to $100 USD. So let's delve into it. Let's smell this thing. And I'm hyped. It's been, it's been since this one that I've smelt Boss Bottled. And like I said, flankers like this, amazing. This is great. This is great. That's the only flop the night for me. So let's smell this one. And obviously, already sprayed. It was a used product, and we're going to keep that there. And we're going to put it on skin after. So let's smell this thing. Oh no. Well, so, when you're looking at note breakdowns, you're just like, okay, the apple and cinnamon and the vanilla is missing. Well, sometimes just because the note breakdown, especially in designer, like Invictus does this, Paco Rabanne does this all the time. Like they put they get rid of the original Invictus notes and they're not in the note breakdown of this flanker, but it smells exactly like Invictus. Those notes are still there. So there's no apple pie here. No apple, no cinnamon, no vanilla. Definitely dark. I'm definitely going to the dark aspect, but sweetness, fruitiness, sweetness from the mandarin, I guess. But it does have this synthetic fruity vibe to it. Not sure I'm a fan of that. Ooh, this is rare. This is rare for this line. Like it's got some fresh touches to it, but it has a lot of dark nuances. I was kind of hoping for a big olibanum note in here, right? Incense. Nothing. Not in that manner. Fig tree, perhaps like a green nuance, but no, it's like there's some greenness in here, but it smells like, the fig in Paradise Garden. Obviously, this has like darker notes surrounding it, but it has like that fig in Paradise Garden that smells like synthetic, and you're just like, this ain't fig. It's green, but it's not like, this is what that smells like. It doesn't resemble anything figgy to me. Orris isn't really doing anything either, the iris. So, disappointing off the strip. Disappointing. Like it reminds me of like just a Hugo Boss are so hit and miss, man. They're so hit and miss. Yeah, it's got a fruity thing. Ooh. It's dark, but it's so synthetically, like it's not well done. Menardo, save me. It's just the fog. Like there's a fake leather note in here. I could smell it now. It has some greenness to it, like vegetal kind of thing, which olibanum can do. Incense can give you like a green herbal touch. But fruity too. You know what this is? I'm trying to dissect this thing as best as I can. You know what this is? I think it's a really bad olibanum note. They picked the wrong one. The material in here is just not up to it. You smell a little bit of woody pieces and like a spicy, peppery nuance as well. There's a little bit of powder from the iris, I guess, but nothing great here. I'm expecting, damn, this one is much sexier on paper. And what do I mean? Not this paper. I mean the note breakdown on paper. It looks good on paper. It's like, ooh, a Boss bottled with incense and fig tree and iris and leather and cedar. And mandarin, where can you go wrong? Yeah, the leather's coming in now, but it's like a fake leather. I think this is a prime example, a great example of a designer fragrance that, from a trusted brand, we'll say, but it's a great example of a note breakdown that looks absolutely gorgeous. And it looks good on paper, but it didn't translate on skin. Because, and I feel like the cheapness of the brand. Hugo Boss is known for cheapening out on some things. It's kind of like they stumbled upon Boss number 6. Like someone signed that off. Monardo, like they just didn't know what they have. And even with the intense versions, like they discontinued really. And I think the reason they discontinued the intense version is because it was stealing sales from this one. It's too close. So this one was losing steam. They get rid of that. Now this one, it ups its sales again and they get stuff that's a little more different, right? I could see why they got rid of them because they want to keep the sales here, I guess. I don't know. Oof. And it's a rare point. And, my channel is all about that. Like I give out intros, right, on videos. I just like, just case in point, I just did an Eros intro, right? I did a fragrance review on a sample on a Versace Eros Najim. A good fragrance, by the way. Eros, what have you showed me lately? My intros always get like a lot of bashings online that people are like preconceived hates or loves. So I hate Eros as a line. That was my intro. They haven't done anything lately. Eros Najim showed me. It's like, oh, that's nice. And this is the flip side of it, where I love Boss Bottled. All this I love. Like Night, no, I don't like it. And there are some flankers that I haven't smelled that are, they might be subpar. You never know. But for the bulk of the line, like not talking about Hugo Boss the line, because there's other Hugo Boss fragrances that are absolutely atrocious. This is such a solid line for them. But here we are. This could be, right, the sexy note breakdown. Monardo hardly misses for me. Monardo hardly disappoints. But this just isn't doing it for me. And I guess like Boss Bottled flankers, they're either high misses or high misses or high hits. This isn't a huge flop, personally, like smelling this, but it's more of a miss than a hit. Yeah, it's lost in the Boss. Like it doesn't smell like Boss number 9 or number 6, Boss Bottled. It doesn't smell like it, which is fine. You know what this reminds me of, actually? Now that I'm like deep into this review and I'm talking, but this is still working and kind of going. This reminds me of like a flanker of Boss, the Scent, that line. Fruity, dark, nondescript, synthetic for the kids, right? No, it smells like that. It was disappointing because the note breakdown is so like, you can have a smoky incense with a nice creamy orris, we'll say. The smoke of the olibanum goes with the leather, a nice rough and tumble leather with maybe like a little bit of fig, a little bit of mandarin, and voila. No, this smells like the Scent. Like it's a step down of the brand. No. So initial impression, no. And that's what happens, kids, when you blind buy. And I'm not, it's not like, oh my God, right? I'm a collector, I have a YouTube channel. There's a whole bunch of things that come into play that I'm not going to go cry in a corner. I'm just like, oh, what a bad blind. It's not like a most expensive blind buy that hurt me the most, no. But it hurts because I like the line. I like to give them props. But this initial impression, again, it's just an initial impression, but this smells like Carolina Herrera, that kind of stuff, like Bad Boy goes into that kind of spectrum. I'm not into that. So now that you're in my take, I'd love to see yours in comments below. Now, you may hate it, you may love it. I can't wait to see those comments. Good, bad, and the ugly, right? Absolutely adore seeing the comments below in regards to it. And let me know which Boss bottle that I'm missing, that I should be getting, that I should be sniffing. Old, it doesn't matter how old. If it's discontinued, I don't care. More power to it. If there's a gem in there, if you want to see me bash the worst Boss bottle, let me know which one that is. I don't mind. I have no issues. I can sample them. I can, they're not very expensive, honestly, except for the new ones. They get expensive. Yeah, I don't mind checking out a line, a favorite of mine for years, a line that I really, really enjoy. And as always, a great report fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your scent wisely. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Have a good one.